It's killing me how close we are to seeing the worlds collide this week. Also, hi! Early for Dr. Stone this week, aren't I? But yes, hello everybody! Welcome back to our weekly Dr. Stone Season 2 discussion video. Today we're here to talk all about Episode 5, Steam Gorilla. But before we get into the video proper, quick reminder if you haven't done so yet, to hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, set notifications to all, and let all of AnyTube know that you're here. And without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into this. Oh me, oh my. This week... Okay, I'm gonna say something, and it's gonna blow some minds. Maybe. I don't think so, because, you know, I talk about Dr. Stone a lot, and y'all seem to dig that, and, you know, we've been switching it. We switched the placement between Neverland and Stone for a reason, and that's because, I'm just gonna say this, Dr. Stone is one of the shows that I, like, actively look forward to. You know, like, and it's not so much that that I'm disliking any other show this week. It's more that every time I wake up, I'm disappointed that I am not waking up to one of the following: either ReZero, Jujutsu Kaisen, Dr. Stone, or Attack on Titan. Like, if I wake up and it is not a day with one of those, it's slightly not as good. Not to say that the other shows this season aren't great, because there are, like, basically every show outside of Promised Neverland is, like, pretty damn great so far. Neverland's off to a bit of a shaky start, but I have confidence that it might stick the landing. I don't know. We're not here to talk about Neverland. We're here to talk about Dr. Stone. No joke, legitimately so into this season. I think it's because last season was so good that I'm like, okay, you spent so much time developing these characters and making me care about all of them, even like the background players, you know, like the girl with like the crazy hair, like the brunette with like the crazy big pigtails, and like all like the old man character, like the old man and his wife, you know, like all of these characters, like we've seen them have little moments in season 1, so that when they do stuff in season 2, you suddenly care. You know, and I think the biggest reason for me, like the moment that I was like, oh, like I really am into this season, is when we start to leave Ishigami Village, and I had this moment of like, I genuinely was kind of misty-eyed. Not because I was like, oh, we're never going to see Ishigami Village again. I'm sure we will. But it's just for the rest of the season, we might not, right? Like, we might not see Ishigami Village for the remainder of the season. It might just be the Stone Wars, which would take place probably mostly in Tsukasa's kingdom. So it's a bit of a change to the norm, and genuinely, your boy was kind of emotional. I was genuinely kind of sad, because like the goodbye between like the older people and the people who are too young to really go and fight, like, so the young and the old are just kind of staying behind in Ishigami Village, which does leave them vulnerable to attack. And Kohaku and the gang even point this out, like, if you stay, if there's a counter attack, you're screwed. You'll have no way of defending yourself. And the old man just walks up, and he looks up at Senku, and he says, here's the thing. You're not going to lose. And I was like, yeah, that's right. My boys ain't gonna lose. And that's the thing, right? Like, with Dr. Stone, it's come to the point where I'm like, it's not even like, well, of course they're not gonna lose. They're the main character. It's, no, they're not gonna lose because that's Senku. You know what I mean? Like, they're not gonna lose because that's Asagiri Gen. They're not gonna lose because that's Kinro, and that's Kaseki, and Suika, and Kohaku. That's the squad right there. That's Magma. You know what I mean? That's a Steam Gorilla. Like, oh man, I love the squad. I love the squad. I am always so hyped to see any adventure with this crew. They've established these characters so well in season 1 that them going to war with Tsukasa's kingdom has me nothing but hype. I'm not even concerned, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a little concerned. Like, I don't want anyone to get hurt. Like, that's my big thing, is I don't want anyone to get hurt. Like, and the fact that there are some characters who could get hurt, you know, Ruri's out there, and I'm like, Ruri, like, what are you doing here? I guess Suika being there is also sort of like, Suika, like, what are you doing here? But at the same time, you need Detective Suika. But leaving Ishigami Village, it genuinely made me emotional. And I had to give them credit for that. They absolutely nailed that. You guys do remember I'm a zombie, right? I could literally eat your brain, like right now. Except I won't, because you've definitely already hit subscribe, which means I'll leave you alone. Unless you haven't, in which case, guess who's having a brain Sunday today? But speaking of Detective Suika, I think now's a great time to bring up Chrome. I'll come back to Suika in a sec. But now is a good time to talk about Chrome. Because why did we need Detective Suika in the first place? Well, that's because Suika, as usual, makes a risky play. Suika be doing some risky shenanigans here and there. And Suika basically decides, like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go full, cheeky detective mode, where you know how she, like, sort of jumps into the watermelon and then sort of, like, rolls around, you know? Like, that's what she does, right? So she jumps into the thing, she jumps into her helmet, and then rolls around and sort of, like, bounces around as though, like, nobody can see her, right? She goes, like, Rock Kirby, you know what I mean? Like, just tries to blend in with the surroundings. And it works, nobody catches her, but we see that, like, the scope of the Tsukasa Kingdom, right? Because we've seen it from the outside, and it's big. But it's rare that we've ever gotten to really, like, explore it. Like, the area, but here's the thing, like, this little excursion from Suika shows you just how big it is. Like, now we have a better scope. Like, as an example, we have Tsukasa's throne room, which is probably near the top where, like, the big dome is. Like, that's probably where the throne room is. Then we have Senku's grave, which is hilarious to say. But Senku's grave, where, like, the phone is set up. So that's probably more towards, like, the back, I'd assume, like, behind the kingdom somewhere, maybe off to the sides. And then we have just, like, the full scope of, like, the mountain leading up to that big dome. And then on the other side of that mountain is the big, like, prison, right, where they're keeping Chrome. And so we see Suika, like, travel through, and it's huge. And there's guards everywhere. I'm shocked that she wasn't caught, and I'm shocked at just how many people there are. Gen actually gave us an exact number, and if somebody in the chat remembers, your boy could use a refresher, because I genuinely kind of forget. I think it must be under 50, right? Like, I think it's under 50? I think there's under 50. At the very least, there's definitely under 100. I know that for sure. But even still, it definitely felt like a hell of a lot. And Suika even says, like, it's mostly just guards. Like, it's mostly guards here. And she does find Chrome, who I have to give Chrome credit. Like, Chrome sees her and is immediately like, oh shit, let me out of here! Right? Like, he just freaks out. And I've probably had this screenshot up of him for the longest time. It's him, like, smirking while he is, like, looking out at, like, the other, at the guards keeping him there. Because he quickly realizes, oh shit, Tsukasa's incredibly smart. And that's the thing that people seem to forget, is that, like, oh, Tsukasa's a meathead. No, Tsukasa's very smart. So Tsukasa knew, like, okay, if I am contending with Senku, if he's not going to do gunpowder, the next thing he's going to do is steam engines, right? And he guesses it correctly, which is, like, I understand why he'd guess that, right? Like, he would probably build something to drive over here and catch us by surprise, like some kind of machine to drive into the cell door. And that's why he put Chrome in that particular cell. He wanted them to drive up and break it, because surrounding the area is nothing but pitfalls for vehicles to fall into. And the guards are very aware that there's probably going to be some kind of big mechanical car. So now Chrome's like, crap. Like, he realizes, like, okay, they're going to do something. And what I love, and this is why I love Chrome, this is why I love this man, right? Chrome goes like, all right, so they, like, I have to tell them somehow so that they can get here and save me. And then he realizes, like, you know what? Big boy time. All right, calm down. New plan. Don't wait for Senku in the game to come save me only to get hurt. Go save them first, and then tell them that there's pitfalls around everywhere. That's the new plan. So my boy Chrome, I might have said again earlier. You'll forgive me. I got Sengen on the mind. I don't know why. This episode didn't have a lot of Sengen in it, but I mean, every episode has some quality Sengen. But regardless, my boy Chrome literally has the thought of, I'm not going to wait to be saved. I'm going to break out of here myself because I am science user Chrome. And I was like, hell yes, dude. I loved Chrome this week. Chrome and Suika probably MVPs this week. That said, the making of the Steam Gorilla kind of gives us a lot of MVPs. In fact, let's talk about that. The Steam Gorilla. I don't know why I'm saying it like that. The Steam Gorilla definitely is impressive and very intimidating, if I'm honest. I think Kaseki's craftsmanship is just perfection at this point. They literally made a statue of a gorilla to put on the edge of this thing. It kind of looks like half of a boat. You know what I mean? It kind of looks like half of a boat with wheels. But, you know, for the first, like, mechanical thing in a couple thousand years, it's pretty solid. And I like that Kaseki is, like, again, Kaseki's just so attached to the damn thing, right? He's just like, I love it, and I wish Chrome was here. And I was like, oh, Kaseki misses Chrome. And he's like, yeah, I miss Chrome, but mostly because I want to just flex on the man. And they literally, like, kudos to whoever is subbing Dr. Stone on Crunchyroll. Like, unlike the Kaisen one, you're doing a fantastic job. The subbing, I don't even really believe that he said this, but the subbing has Senku say, yeah, if only Chrome was here so we could flex the Steam Gorilla on him. And it's like, I have a feeling that's not what he said. I don't speak enough Japanese to super know. I don't think that's what he said, but I like that, so I'm gonna just go ahead and assume that that's what he said. Like, that translation is hilarious. Like, let's just go flex on him. And I'm like, hell yeah, flex on the boy. Flex the Steam Gorilla. But yeah, like, that is, I love the Steam Gorilla. I think it's cool as hell. I'm kind of sad at the idea that it's going to break. Like, the idea that Senku's like, we only got one shot at really using this thing, and we're basically gonna blow it on ramming into the prison cell, so don't get used to it. That said, there's an awesome moment between Kinro and Senku. Kinro basically points out, like, Senku, I don't know if you know this, but, and he breaks down a tree with a swing of the spear. And I was like, or more like a stab of the spear. And I was like, Jesus, Kinro! Jeez, where'd you find all this? And this man literally literally chops a tree down just by stabbing it. And Senku's like, all right, you want to fight? Right? Which is like, what? Because basically, like, they're fighting over the whole, like, making the Steam Gorilla. You've seen the episode, you know what I'm talking about. That scene was sick. Like, watching Kinro stab at Senku to prove, like, as Senku's trying to prove that the shield will hold. And it's made out of paper and goo. You know what I mean? It's like, what? And he makes carbon fiber out of that. So that's how they're like, nothing's gonna hurt us, I promise, right? Like, this paper will hold, right? Wow, Senku just tanking the hit with the power of, like, 1,000, like, the size of Senku's balls in that moment, metaphorically speaking, astronomical, because I wouldn't have held the shield like that, you know what I mean? Kinro, and he even tells Kinro, like, listen, it's not going to be worth it unless you really stab at me, so I'm going to really need you to stab at me. Rules are rules, right? And it's like, damn, Senku, you're playing a dangerous game. And Senku tanks the hit. Admittedly, everybody, I believe Kohaku's the first to notice, like, give him a second, because he's still shaking and reeling, because, like, he took the hit, right? Like, he wasn't stabbed, so the piercing effect is gone, but he still took the hit. So Senku's like, he's like shaking, and that's when Gen's just like, oh, I see what you did. Like, and yeah, and they have like the quick little Sengen moment this week. Sengen's so good. Last minute ramblings. I absolutely love the Steam Gorilla. I love the Steam Gorilla. Again, I don't want it to I hope it doesn't get destroyed. I hope that Chrome is gonna break out in time to save the Steam Gorilla, because I think it's really cool. I don't want to see this thing get wrecked or anything like that. At the very least, if it does get wrecked, I expect a apology to Kaseki and to Chrome for not being able to see the damn thing. And I demand Steam Gorilla version 2.0. That's all I'm going to say on that one. Any other last minute thoughts? I hope you guys enjoy the Switch. These videos are going to start coming out on friggin' Fridays now, so I hope you guys enjoy that. And yeah, I genuinely, I just love this season, man. I'm genuinely so hyped for every friggin' Dr. Stone episode, and I'm glad I actually get to watch it with the rest of you on the same day now. That's pretty hype. And with that said, everybody, that is gonna wrap up today's video here, so I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to boop that up snoot, share if you care, leave a comment down below, and of course, make sure that you hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, set notifications to all, and let all of AnyTube know that you're here. And of course, before we go, as always, I want to give a big thank you to the good folks in the T Squadron. Look at these beautiful people. Look at all these beautiful names. And hey, if you'd like to join these beautiful people, there are 2 ways to do so. The first is by hitting that join button right beside the sub button. That gets you a badge next to your name, some emotes to spam in the comments, and of course your name scrolling past the screen here. Or you could check out that Patreon link in the description. For as little as $1 a month, you can help out your favorite zombie boy live to see another day. Okay, it's not that dramatic, but I would seriously appreciate it. Thank you. So once again, just a big thank you to the good folks in the T Squadron. And with that said, everybody, that is it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I retired. Stay classy. Wash your dang hands. I'm not saying that anymore. You should just know to wash your hands at this point. We like how many months have we been into this whole thing that I'm not going to talk about, the Backstreet Boys reunion tour? It's been long enough, you know. And I shouldn't have to tell you to stay classy. You know, I most certainly hope that if you watch these videos, you just stay in classy. So I'm just going to say bye.